A day after the Hindu festival of Deepavali ended, the festive mood in the air still lingers as preparations for the upcoming Chhath festival are in full swing. Essentially a festival of the Madhesi community, people from different walks of life too have started embracing Chhath in recent time, as it is reported that 21 different locations in the capital, including Kamalpokri, Bishnumati, among other places, have been decorated for the Chhath festivities. Good evening. I'm Amar Singh Pradhan and these are the headlines of the hour. The government fails to make plans for the earthquake victims from Jajarkot for their rehabilitation despite claims of temporary houses within a month. Farmers failed to make avail of agriculture grant provided by Bagmati province, efforts underway to provide grant to local levels. Israel rejects UN call for extended humanitarian pauses for Gaza. Eyewitnesses tell international media Israeli soldiers are everywhere shooting in all directions. And Australia is past South Africa by 3 wickets in a low-scoring thriller at the ICC World Cup 2023 to set a final date against host India. The government is yet to bring any concrete programs for the rehabilitation of the earthquake victims from Jajarkot and Rukum West. The November 3rd earthquake earlier this month had ravaged parts of 11 districts in the western Nepal. The government is yet to collect complete data of physical losses while rehabilitation works have lagged behind. As per the latest data of the government, over 26,000 houses were completely destroyed by the Jajarkot earthquake. Another 35,000 houses were partially damaged. The government has said that it is focusing on the distribution of relief assistance, even as the victims are saying that they have not even received a temporary shelter to spend the night. The government has sent a financial assistance of 50,000 rupees for every house demolished in Jajarkot and Rukum for the construction of temporary shelter. The other 9 districts haven't received the assistance yet. The government has also set up a fund worth 10 billion rupees for the relief assistance and rehabilitation of the earthquake victims. The government, however, lacks planning for the rehabilitation model and land acquisition for the rehabilitation. The government has said that temporary homes for the victims will be constructed within a month, which will be followed by reconstruction phase. Experts had previously reiterated of fragile house construction in the western part of Nepal, and therefore the planners need to be careful while proceeding with the reconstruction works. 72.6% of the population in Bagmati province rely on agriculture for income. However, an agricultural population census report has highlighted that 55% of the farmers in the province cannot sustain their livelihoods through agriculture alone. Majority of farmers have yet to benefit from the government's grant programs that have been limited to businessmen and people with political connections. This has prompted the Bagmati province government to revise its farmers' grant policy. The province's Land Management, Agriculture and Cooperatives Ministry had granted Samyam Ansari, the chairperson of Muslim Commission, over 6 million rupees to operate a slaughterhouse. However, Ansari sold the slaughterhouse established with the grant money. The ministry is doing legworks to recover the grant money from Ansari following a directive from the Agriculture Grant Investigation Subcommittee of the Parliament. The government agriculture grant program invited more controversy after a grant was provided to a farm owned by former Minister Haribol Gajurel. Many other political figures and individuals with political reach have reaped undue benefit from the government grant, tarnishing the image of the initiative. The province government has hence begun preparations to distribute subsidized loans based on outcome through the local levels instead of handing individuals and farms financial assistance through the ministry. And in our Public Voice segment, we have asked people in several provinces what should be done to raise farmers' access to agriculture grants. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
हामी गाउँहरुको मान्छेलाई पहुँच पनि बनाइदिनु थाहा पनि हुनु पर्यो त्यो प्रक्रिया सहज बनाइदिनु पर्यो
किसानको आउटपुट हेरेर उनीहरुको आवश्यकताको आधारमा अनुदान प्रोवाइड गर्यो भनेदेखि त्यो अनुदानले चाहिँ रियल मिनिङ दिन्थ्यो जस्तो लाग्छ
हामी जस्ता सर्वसाधारण किसानको नि खेतीहरु हेरेर दिने गरे भने राम्रो हुन्छ
पहुँचवालालाई होइन कि त्यो जसले चाहिँ अलि दुःख गर्छ मेहनत गर्छ हैन त्यस्तो खालको मान्छेलाई चाहिँ दिनुपर्छ
सहकारी मार्फत गर्यो भनेदेखि अझ किसानबाटमा पुग्छ पहुँचवालाले मात्रै पाउने अवस्था रहँदैन
नेताले अब आफै खान्छन् आफै बनाउँछन्
सरकारबाट त हामीलाई केही सुविधै पाएको होइन अब त्यसको लागि हामीले जानकारी पाउनु पर्यो
किसानहरुलाई प्रभावकारी तरिकाले सूचीकरण गर्ने
किसानलाई सूचना दिनु पर्यो नि त जो वडा अध्यक्ष हुन्छ सदस्य हुन्छ उनीहरुसँग भन्नु पर्यो
किसानको पहुँच बढाउनलाई चाहिँ आएर निरीक्षण गर्नु पर्यो
आजभोलि चाहिँ कार्यकर्ता पाल्ने बाटो भएको छ वास्तविक किसानको पहिचान हुनु पर्यो
किसान दिनमा चासो दिनु पर्यो
किसानलाई आएको पैसा किसानले पाउनु पर्छ
सरकार चाहिँ साच्चै किसान मैत्री हुनु पर्यो
कस्तो किसिमको आवश्यकता छ सही पहिचान लिएर अनि उनलाई अनुदान दिनुपर्छ
किन तहको सरकारहरु संवेदनशील बन्नुपर्छ
जो अनुदान दिने निकायहरुले पनि आवश्यकता बुझेर दिनु राम्रो हुन्छ
स्थानीय निकाय र सबै संयन्त्रहरु इमानदार हुनुपर्छ
प्रक्रियाहरु सहज बनाइदिनु पर्यो हामीलाई थाहा पनि हुँदैन
The draft on election-related laws furnished by the Election Commission to better manage the election mechanism and political parties has been collecting dust for the past 4 months. The draft law, including provisions to ensure that Nepali nationals living abroad could vote and reject any candidate deemed unfit to run the election, was sent to the Home Ministry on 3rd of July earlier this year. However, the ministry is yet to begin discussions on this. The Commission has warned the next election will have to be conducted in the same old manner if new law is not endorsed within a year. Based on the regular process, the draft is to be presented to the Council of Ministers after deliberations by the Home Minister. This will be followed by the Cabinet registering the draft at the Parliament as a bill. The Commission has included the provision of allowing Nepali nationals abroad to vote, which is in line with the Supreme Court order along with the provision of no vote. Likewise, the draft law prohibits anyone facing corruption allegation meeting the 33% quota of female candidates and barring the same person from repeated candidacy, among others. Experts say the delay by ministry in moving ahead with the draft law suggests that the government lacks interest in the laws. Meanwhile, the Commission has been piling pressure on the government to review the draft law, warning that the next election won't be much different in the absence of a new law. Preparations have also begun in the capital for Chhath festival that as riverbanks of Bagmati, Manohara along with ponds are being cleaned along with various shrines. Special worship sites are being established in 21 different locations in the capital, including Gauri Ghat, Kamal Pokhri, Bishnumati, Nakhu, Gana Pokhri and Kupandol. Works are underway to clean Bagmati River section in Gauri Ghat and cleaning of weeds along with putting up tents and tarpaulins and installing the statues of Chhati Mata. Special decorations are made at the riverbanks and water bodies for Chhath festival. A special committee for the management of Chhath festival in Gauri Ghat has said all preparations will be complete by Saturday. The 4-day-long Chhath festival will begin from tomorrow with the main day of the festival on Sunday, as devotees will worship the sun and take fast. It is believed that fasting during the Chhath festival rids one of their sorrows and miseries. On the first day of Chhath, devotees take a holy dip in water and take a fast with just one meal for the day. The following day, they prepare and offer rice pudding to Chhati Mata and consume it themselves and avoid salt the whole day, limiting their food intake to one portion of fruits. On the third and the main day of Chhath festival, devotees worship the setting sun. They conclude the festival the next morning by worshipping the rising sun. Chhath, that originally was limited to the Tarai region, has been celebrated across the country in recent time. And now time for our segment Public Pulse, where it texts us with their opinion.
Public Pulse.
Let's take a look at a response to yesterday's question. And yesterday we had asked you, why have works related to expansion of electricity transmission line been delayed? 32% of you voted for option A, incapable Nepal Electricity Authority. 42% voted for option B, administrative complications, and 26% voted for option C, protest of the local residents. And here is our today's question. And the question is, why is the government accumulating public loan? The options are option A, no knowledge of financial management, option B, enhanced responsibilities, and option C, lack of internal resources. The voting is on. Type in WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And let's move on to international updates. Eyewitnesses in Gaza have shared with international media that Israeli soldiers are everywhere, shooting in all directions at Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza City. Israel says special forces are carrying out precise and targeted operational activity within the complex. IDF said soldiers are searching each floor as hundreds of patients and medical staff remain in the complex. In response to IDF's claim that Hamas has been running its base in Al-Shifa hospital, Hamas representative Osama Hamdan, speaking at a press conference in Beirut, said Hamas avoids all hospitals all the time and dismissed the claims. Al-Shifa's hospital director this evening gave a press statement saying the hospital has run out of oxygen and water, adding that tanks have surrounded the hospital and drones are overhead. There are more than 650 patients at the site, 500 medical staff and more than 5,000 displaced people. Earlier, Israel rejected UN call for extended humanitarian pauses for Gaza as Israel envoy told the Council that his government does not need a resolution to remind it to adhere to international law and that bringing the hostages home was Israel's top priority. Envoy Brett Jonathan also told the Council that Israel will continue to do whatever it takes to accomplish that goal. US President Joe Biden has met with Chinese President Xi Jinping, the first time the rival leaders have spoken in person in more than a year.
世界上最重要的双边关系，中美关系要放在世界百年变局加速演进 这个大背景下来思考和谋划，为两国人民带来福祉，为人类进步展现担当。50多年来呢，中美关系从来不是一帆风顺的。
Mr. President, we know each other for a long time.
The two countries, which are the world's biggest carbon emitters, agreed on further measures to tackle climate change, but stopped short of committing to end the use of fossil fuels. They promised to cooperate to slow methane emissions, a particularly potent greenhouse gas, and support global efforts to triple renewable energy by 2030. The two sides also agreed to cooperate in the fight against drug trafficking, and China agreed to crack down on chemical companies in order to stem the tide of illegal fentanyl into the US, which has contributed to a rise in overdose deaths. The two countries also agreed to resume military-to-military communication, a step that was high on the Americans' wish list. The military links were caught by China last year after then US House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan. Relations deteriorated further after a suspected Chinese spy balloon floated across the continental US earlier this year before being shot down over the Atlantic Ocean. As the meeting began, Biden told Xi he valued the conversation and that it would ensure there were no misconceptions or miscommunications. In response, Xi said conflict and confrontation has unbearable consequences for both sides. And now time for another short break. We'll be right back.
Sports news.
Hong Kong have defeated Nepal by 9 wickets in today's match under the four-nation Women T20 series. The defeat has also crushed Nepal's aspirations of qualifying for the final. In the match played at Hong Kong Cricket Club ground, Nepal elected to bat first after winning the toss. Nepal's batting lineup struggled against the disciplined attack from Hong Kong as Nepal were bowled out in 18 overs for a meagre score of 56 runs. Rubina Chetri top scored for Nepal with 25 runs, while none of the other batters could reach the double-digit score. Nepal's new skipper Indu Burma failed to open her account, while Sita Rana Magar scored 9 runs. Ikra Sahar was the most successful bowler for Hong Kong with 3 wickets. In reply, Hong Kong reached the target in 9 overs, losing only 1 wicket. Natasha Miles remained unbeaten with 30 runs, while Sanjin Sahjad scored unbeaten 20 runs. Hong Kong and Tanzania have qualified for the final of the tournament. And those were our latest headlines. Up next is news in Nepali. Good night.